Hello, welcome to my review of Batman Crusader. Crusader was developed by Bruce Timm, who was involved with DCAU. The music was done by Frederick Wildman, who also worked on a lot of DC animated movies, universe like Flashpoint Paradox, for example. And I would like to go over some of the voice actors, and I will name some of the roles I know them from, if I do know them from any roles. Starting off with Batman's played by Hamish Linklater. Alfred's played by Jason Watkins. Commissioner Gordon is played by Eric Morgan Stewart, who also played Jacob Forsyth and Newton O'Bailey in Firefall. Motor is played by Michelle C. Bonella. Bob was played by Christopher Joe Brown, who also played Sacha and Castle. Bullock is played by John DiMaggio, who played Joker in Under the Red Hood. Galactus in some Marvel projects like Lego Marvel Superheroes. Forms, Armadillo, Rav, Humongouso, Vampire, and Actor, and some Ben 10 series. Flash is played by Gray Anthony Williams, who also played Stormtroopers and Guan and some Star Wars stuff, and Mutant Leo and Batman the Dark Knight Returns. Lastly, Harvey Dent is played by Derek Barrow, who played Batman the Harley Quinn show and Brave and the Bold, Simeon and Ben 10, Craven and Moon Knight and Ultimate Spider-Man, and finally, Shadow Thief and The Batman. And with all of that kind of out of the way, let's start off with the beginning. Episode 1. Penguin, who is portrayed by Minnie Driver, who also played Jane Thompson, thinks wonderful man was giving info to Rupert phone. Batman took down some of phone's guys, and the warehouse for Batman was then 2 seconds ago blows up. It happens. Someone wants to take out a phone. Batman thinks someone on the police force is covering up the explosions. Barbara is a defense attorney, which I do like that change. She might become Batgirl later on, but it is a nice change to be like, oh, Barbara's doing something different than her dad in terms of trying to do justice without it being Batgirl. I do appreciate that. And I also appreciate Bruce Timm's promising no Barbara acts a Bruce action. That was also nice. Look, if it's Pone who gives a shit, but for stories and stuff, it is a real dynamic for sure. We'll also meet Harvey Dent, who's the DA, who's running for mayor, and it's been more of a joke this time around. Batman finds out who the fire inspector was and pays him a visit. The fire inspector spilled that the Penguin has been paying him off to lie about the cause of the fires. But Iceberg Lounge is a ship which I do appreciate because icebergs and ships both float. Oh, I have nothing. Maybe it's a Titanic situation where Penguin knows it's gonna get hit by an iceberg eventually. Penguin's holding a police fundraiser. Penguin son Wani's trying to hit on Barbara. Penguin and Phone are doing the I know you want me dead talk, and Phone kind of hints at her older son was the one that ratted her out to him. Penguin drowns one of her sons for sending her out, but she got the wrong son. Oopsie poopsie. She doesn't give a shit, but she doesn't even feel bad that she got the wrong son. Wani rats his mom out to Barbara. Barbara's trying to take Wani to her dad, which leads to a high-speed chase. Batman shows up and hits the goons with his car. Bullock is on Penguin's payroll and tell her that Wani is singing like a bird. Penguin has a missile launcher and plans to blow up the police station. Batman shows up, beats up some goons, and after a fight between him and the Penguin was able to blow up the police station despite Batman's best efforts, but no one dies. Phone is going to take over the Penguin's ground in the city. I kind of don't like this episode in general, but I especially don't think this is a good first episode. One, that Tree Rupert Phone has this threat. Batman's like, oh my god, I failed because Rupert Phone would gain all this ground and stuff like that. We don't know this guy besides Monster, which you can argue that's all you know, but there's a lot of monsters, and what makes him special, what makes him so dangerous. We didn't get that. We don't get that feel of that. And which is a shame. And also, too, for an apparent gang war, like, I know mobsters and stuff like that. Like, it didn't feel like it at all. Like, I felt like Penguin just wanted to take out a phone for, like, because it was, more personal. I mean, gang war could be personal. But, like, it didn't feel like this whole gang operation until, like, last minute. Oh, Penguin had all this ground. I'm like, cool. I mean, it would been nice for, like, some information here and there throughout the episode. Kind of, like, laying out more of a groundwork for that. Like, last line, or last conversation between Batman and Alfred. So the ending feels more impactful. Unless I missed a line here and there. Obviously, like, Penguin's reach is strong for her to be able to have Bullock on her payroll, but still. I just felt like that kind of came out of nowhere in terms of the ending. Again, unless I missed something, I don't think I did. But also to Penguin. What a boring adaptation of Penguin. Like, this, I'm not gonna remember this adaptation of Penguin. And honestly, because Bruce Timm says they didn't know what to do with Penguin, so they just decided to make Penguin into a female. And that doesn't like make the character interesting. But doesn't automatically give Penguin a personality if you don't, like, didn't have a plan. Like, like, Penguin has that whole, like, mob boss, two sons trope that's and stuff. But other than that, like, this is like a bare bones adaptation of Penguin. And I also, no offense to the voice actress, because she did great work voicing the character, but I'm not sure if her voice matches up with the Penguin too.
Hold me out.
If this Penguin had anything else, like if it will expand it on what this Penguin does, I know this Penguin's terrifying. Like, she drowned her son without a second thought, and tried to kill her other son without a second thought. But it was also implied that she has drowned a lot of people. But I feel like this Penguin was missing that, like, one thing to be like, oh, this is good, this is, like, something to remember. Also, too, the design is what you expect from a female Penguin. Like, nothing too crazy, but, like, if you hear Bruce Timm draw a female Penguin. Now, moving on to episode 2. A woman named Frances gets attacked. Bruce is being questioned by Matora about Frances going missing. Lucius Fox is Bruce's low and got him out of questioning. Bruce put a listening device on Matora's coat. Matora's questioning Basil Carlo, played by Don O'Hue. Basil mentions that Francis has been hanging out with a wrong crowd. And then Matora knows that Basil lied by not seeing Francis in months. Matora found Basil knifed at his house. Now everyone can have knife days. Batman chased the killer who's 100% Clayface got away. Francis is all chained up in a film set. Dent is very corrupt in this show. Like, does, secret dealings, getting people off hooks that shouldn't get off hooks and stuff like that. Clayface killed the producer of the movie. Batman figured out the killer had access to the set due to a label on his scarf. Basil was a good actor but didn't have a look, so he didn't get that, like, top-tier chef roles. Basil liked Francis. Basil worked with Jack, a makeup artist, but promised to make him look better. Batman stopped Clayface from killing. Again, Clayface got away. Batman found the dead bodies of the producer and an actor that Matora was talking to not that long ago. Matora is interviewing Jack. Basil's body is a fake. Jack is Clayface and knocks out Matora. Jack made Basil into Clayface. Francis rejected handsome Basil, and then his face went sideways. Out, so whatever you want, like, really call it. Jack is Basil's fake dead body. He killed him and disguised him. Batman shows up and frees Matora. Batman fights Clayface as Matora fears Francis. Clayface is knocked down. Batman got away from the cops. Matora found the listening device in her coat. I like this episode, even though, like, if you have, like, any knowledge of Batman, Basil Carlos is Clayface, so in that regard, you know the mystery. But as someone who did know the mystery second one, it was a fun ride. Like, they made it enjoyable. And, I mean, if you know where the treasure map leads to, like, it's all about the adventure. And I think they did a very good job with the adventure part of this episode. And also, too, it's always good to see Batman doing, like, detective work, and again, like, seeing him work through that process. And also, too, like, watching the Suicide Squad isekai recently, even going to this version of Clayface, what a refresh. Like, no, I kind of didn't like the Suicide Squad isekai one with, like, a more hardcore take of Clayface, but so this also felt, like, good to me, and, like, yeah, I kind of needed this for my Clayface right now. There's also that. But moving on to episode 3. Bruce meets Selina, who is played by Christina Ricci, who played Taylor in The Julius Contract, and Trixie in Spiriso, and museum that's hosting, like, Bruce's family jewels on display. Bruce punches a reporter that says Bruce's mom should have known better than to wear her pearls in Climb Alley. Bruce has to see Dr. Holly Krenzel to not go to jail for assault, which, I mean, that's a pretty sweet deal if you ask me. Selina has no money due to her father doing the good old tax fraud.
Because I'm all out of money!
And becomes Catwoman to steal. And one thing I do like about this show, there's a few instances throughout. One, the show specifically, like, lays out and kind of discusses a bit. But there's a few instances in the show where you kind of question, is Batman doing more good or bad for the city? Because Selina got the inspiration to become Catwoman from Batman. Like, she saw a newspaper of Batman. And there's one more specific incident I'm gonna point out too that I think kind of, like, asks this question. But this is number one, which I think that's a good question to ask. Hopefully we can kind of explore that a bit more in season 2, which is already confirmed. But this is definitely one that raises for questions and stuff like that. Or you can argue that it does already answer the question and gives this answer by the end of the season. But it kind of does it in two different ways, a bit. So you can argue that the continual inspiration aspect, well, another aspect has already been answered from it. But again, we get to it. Batman catches up to Catwoman, got her arrested. Dr. Krenzel can see through Bruce's billionaire personality somewhat, like, she knows that it's fake, but, like, you know, she's not like, you're Batman. Dan lets Selina off the hook. Catwoman's back stealing. Batman chases him. Batman saves Catwoman from falling to her death, but she got away. Selina and her maid are on the run. Batman pulls his family jewels early from the museum to, like, bait Catwoman, because it's like, oh, the jewels are gonna be gone after the weekend, so you better strike. You better pounce on the jewels. Bruce is freed from therapy. Batman got a journalist to take pictures of Catwoman as proof of, like, her stealing so she can stay imprisoned. Catwoman has a pamphlet, but sleeping gas is one hell of a drug. Batman saves Catwoman from being killed by the police, but has her arrested. Batman only kills the journalist, posts the Catwoman pictures, and, like, he doesn't kill one of the journalists or post pictures of him punching cops. And then also too, there's a funny bit when, like, Selina calls her maid to, like, pay her out, and the maid's like, you haven't paid me in 3 years, so I sold everything. Which, honestly, I know is probably, like, to the low tier of Selina's problem. Most people would stay with an opponent that hasn't played them in 3 years. I don't think anyone is that crazy by comic books. But I like the episode. This is just a fun episode. The Catwoman here is what you expect from a Catwoman, but, like, I feel like it's a bit more of a goofy take of Catwoman in terms of more of, like, a lighthearted one, like, more, like, fun. Like, I don't know how to describe it, like, compared to the other versions of Catwoman Mia, because, you know, you have fun time with Catwoman Belle. Like, I feel like this is a bit more lighthearted. It's something to like kind of remember the character by, because you know it's a different feel than other characters. I'm opposed again to the Penguin, where it just feels like this could be like 50 odd different penguins without icing on top to make it stand out. So the more lighthearted part is the icing for Catwoman, if that makes sense. I mean, this episode also kind of goes over, like, Batman backstory. I have nothing really to say. I mean, Alfred then shut down Kid Bruce saying, "I'll make them pay." He like, legitimately, Bruce just, barged into Alfred sleeping. It's like, "I'm gonna make them pay. All of them." And Alfred's like, didn't say anything. And then Bruce just kind of shuts the door, and then Alfred goes back to sleep. It's just like, Alfred, maybe you should talk to him and just in general. But episode 4, Batman's public opinion is bad since they beat up cops last episode. There's gonna be a special task force to go after Batman, led by Martello. The cops are trying to capture Batman by faking crimes, but they can't capture him. Cops resort to faking a high-speed chase, but couldn't capture the Batman. Dent is using the failures of the cops to boost his mail campaign. Batman was in the police station, but Gordon saw him. Batman got away. But the cops bring in Harleen to figure out the Batman psychology. Harleen and Martello are a thing. Harleen says a costume freak is a great way to bring out the Batman. Bullock and Flash release Firebug, played by Tom Kenny, who plays SpongeBob and SpongeBob, Penguin, the Batman. Otto, Octavius, and Vulture and Ultimate Spider-Man, and Raimundo and Challenge Showdown. And they took Firebug from jail. Of course, Bullock and Flash didn't have permission to release Firebug, because fuck permission.
Fuck permission slips!
Bullock and Flash let Firebug have his costume and fake looking like he escaped. Firebug starts a fire. Batman shows up. Bullock and Flash give the cops in Varia a kill on sight order for Batman. Batman saves the family after beating up some cops. Flash and Bullock kill Firebug, even though he's surrendered, because, you know, he's gonna talk, by shooting him out of a window. Batman and Gordon saves a couple of kids together. Bullock and Flash will put in charge of attack force due to good press. The mayor was like, put those two on the special attack force that had you come up with going. And of course, you know, just why them causing the problem. This episode's okay. Like, I like everything in this episode. It's just that I feel like the task force isn't far through, because it sets it up to be like more of a bigger thing of like, oh my god, Bullock and Flash is on like lead the task force, but it doesn't change anything whatsoever. It was just kind of like, oh, we can make it this problem's like the problem of the episode kind of a thing. And then also too, Batman being feared by the public, or his public opinion being down, well, it doesn't affect anything evil. So like in the bubble, this episode's fine, but once you pop that bubble, it's kind of not that great in terms of trying to like set up stuff. It really is good stuff, but like really doesn't feel like it follows through too much on that front, or like expand upon stuff. So moving on to episode 5. Batman meets King Tut. King Tut is now in Arkham, and he gave all his money away. Someone is making rich people give everything away. I know the horror. Gordon is pushing himself hard since Flash and Bullock is in charge of attack force, which again, we don't feel the Gordon pushing him hard, just people saying that he is. Harleen and Motora got a date. Batman sees that King Tut gave some money to Harleen Quinzel. Batman escapes the cops. Harleen, who is played by Jamie Chung, who played Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball Evolution, is making the wish to try to see the humanity side of things during therapy. But when that fails, she kidnaps him. Now, my problem with this, like when we see her kidnap, like this rich billionaire type personality, his line was, they tried to unionize after I did so much for them. Unless I missed it, because my complaint is we need like one more line. Like something like, I gave him a pennyways and they dared to unionize. You know, like make him like feel like more of a scumbag, because he gave him like $1 million bonuses. I know he didn't give him $1 million bonuses, But like, what if he actually did try to help his workers and then still unionized demanding more? You know what I mean? Like, maybe he did actually try. You know, I know the show is trying to portray him not trying, and he is a billionaire, so automatically evil. But like, my point being, it would be nice to have like, okay, this guy obviously does not give a shit about his workers. Top of the line Mo. There was already in the show. I just think that would have been like, you know what, this guy's make me feel like, okay, this guy's a scumbag kind of feel. Like the show probably wanted me to feel, but like really I couldn't feel that from what was given in the show. Harleen also makes the witch people that she kidnaps give up everything. She even gets like the witch to torture each of them, and I also don't appreciate there's a pudding reference to like, you know, what Holly calls Joker, just because they go, we don't want to do the Joker and Holly relationship because it's toxic, even though that's the point of a relationship. And most people can tell that it's not a healthy relationship. That's not an exact quote, but it's just kind of like, oh, you want to reference it, but you don't want to do it, really? Which they don't have to do it. But like, it just kind of felt like, right, okay, show. Let's go, you know, let's go with what you're saying. King Tut tries to kill himself after Barbara mentions Halloween. Barbara just missed Batman and Halloween's office, but still got a clue to where to go next. Barbara goes to use William, another one of Halloween's patients, but he doesn't want to talk. Barbara bumps into Batman, and then Batman's like, leave, don't come back. Then Batman found Harley's holding cell. Harley releases all the prisoners and gets them to attack Batman. Batman gets trapped in one of the cells, and Harleen sets the house to blow up. Barbara tries to help Batman. Harleen knows Barbara's calm. Batman falls into the sea. Batman saves Barbara from falling, but Harley wasn't so lucky. Harley calls Matilda to tell her that she's leaving town. This episode's fine. Again, like, for one thing, let's start with not repeating anything, but let's go with one thing I do like. Is that Harley's like, oh, I know you were coming after me because the costume things draw to you. But like, you know, she's wearing a costume and she does like the cry rose that like Batman has, like when she's wearing her costume. And I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that. I like that, like, love Pale Lava have. So it seems like, you know, she was also inspired by Batman to do the things that she does. So I do like that. But, like, I feel like this episode needed, like, 5 more minutes. Like, in general, like, what happened to all the witch people? We don't know. They just escaped and that was it. Like, no explanation was given to, like, what happened to them. So, like, I feel like this episode was kind of a bit show. Like, the groundwork of this episode is, like, fine. Like, it's a good groundwork. But, like, there's some bricks missing. And I want this, you know, bricks to be filled in and put in. So, like, this is just a okay episode. Episode 6. We give a gentleman ghost, played by Tony Steffens, attacking an armored truck. Bruce's money went up 20%, good for him, which of the poor gets poor. Lucius is building stuff to help like low-income families, like housing and stuff like that, after buying a property. Dent is losing support. His numbers are slipping like a slip and slide down to 0.
Slip and slide Mega Shark from Whammo.
Phone meets with Dent and says, hey, I can help you win. Dent says no, because I don't want nothing to do with you. Armored truck was carrying money for charity, which has less money than other armored trucks that were going on at the same time. The gentleman goes is robbing only the underprivileged and doesn't accept Dan's money when he was trying to boost his numbers by lying the public transit system. He's like, take my money, leave these people alone. And that didn't work out for him. But money got stolen, got boned when the gentleman ghost escapes by Batman via a wall. The quest for the ghost house is the same on the house on the property that Lucius just bought. The quest belongs to the Karnak family, one of the founding families of Gotham, but their family was removed from the record due to James Kodak stealing from the underprivileged to give back to the rich. With was Robin Hood, and this took place during the Carney days. The ghost showed up while Lucius was about to buy the house, and finalized the deal basically. Batman shows up but
And this time you don't stand a ghost of a chance.
James leaves as he freezes Batman's hand. Batman goes to see Linton, who's a psychic. He tells Batman he needs the blood of a noble and the will of a house to trap the ghosts. We've gone into supernatural territory. We really have 12 seasons and a half, baby. At the time of recording. I don't know. Sorry, no, I don't recommend anyone watching all 15 seasons of Supernatural in the world like I'm doing. Oh my god, I'm getting close, but don't do it. But anyways, Bruce got the will and Alfred's of noble blood. What a coincidence. James stopped the ritual once it was started. Alfred starts it again, but Alfred gets possessed by James. Batman finishes the ritual and traps the ghost in a test tube to give to Linton. Linton and James know each other. Dan's phone numbers are worse because of the whole train incident, not being able to stop the gentleman ghost. So he caves and asks phone for help. I like this episode. Because this was very much feel like a grounded Batman show up until this point, and I like that. It's like, oh, look, it's the supernatural, and I appreciate that. I really do. It's a very fun episode. Definitely, like, proves to me, hey, I'm not a big believer of the supernatural, but if it was the supernatural, and he went to find an expo, the expo was correct. Like, I like the Bruce is being open-minded about it. I do appreciate that aspect as well. And we see more of Dent, and I like that. Like, of course, Harvey is more corrupt in this show, 100%. But, like, he still has a heart, and he still wants the best for Gotham, and you can see, like, this, like, going to phone kind of destroys him a bit. So, I do like that. Anything else, Willie? I don't think so. Episode 7. Gordon is mad at Barbara for letting a guy off on a tactical team, and began a little fight. Barbara says the dude was at a wrong time, wrong place. Gordon's like, it's not always, like, that. It's not always great. Sometimes it's black and white. Someone tried to kill Gordon, but failed. There's a hit on Gordon. Gordon refuses to leave the police station despite people's warnings. Batman knows the hit came from inside Blackgate Prison, and it was an open hit, so whoever gets the job gets the dough. Batman sneaks into Blackgate and crushes Miller, who pulled out the hit. The whole crew came out of town for the hit, including Armand Pia. Gordon agrees to go somewhere else to not endanger his neighbors because he came home. And they're like, hey, this might not be the best place for you to be, just in case if it goes bang, 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 bang. Gordon gets attacked on his way to the safe house, but escapes. A car full of bullet holes cannot run. Fun fact. The cops are hunting and Wayne gone. The leader of the gang is Armand Pia. I know I mentioned Armand Pia earlier. I got ahead of myself, but Armand Pia is played by Red Scott, who also played Green Arrow in Victor Sass in the Injustice movie, and Dan in the Venom movies. The thugs found Gordon as Gordon and Barbara argue about the system. Batman shows up. Batman is facing Armand Pia as some goons got into the house. All goons are down. Batman beats Armand Pia. The hit has been cancelled. The hit was really on Barbara. One of the cops was doing, but Gordon stops him from killing Barbara. Marlo didn't think he should be in jail, so that's why he put out a hit. He's like, man, it was a mistake. I don't belong in prison. So I'll put on a hit on my love. I would show them that I deserve to not be in prison. Genius. I don't like this episode. Well, I do like the dilemma Barbara goes through, saying, hey, sometimes people are just bad, and sometimes it's just what it seems like. We really don't see that into play, really. So that's also kind of points off of this episode, at least here. But also, too, you waste Armand Pia? Like, when's the next time we're gonna see Armand Pia, huh? Never. I mean, probably not never, but, like, who's gonna want to use Armand Pia in, like, a TV show or movie? Hardly anyone. And it's like, not saying you could do all this crazy stuff with him, but like, do something with him. He just does all my Pias, and I know what his favorite Yu-Gi-Oh deck is. That's basically it. And considering, like, if they go, oh, well, we need to do something for the Penguin. You didn't do anything for Armand Pia. You didn't even try. I'm sorry, especially after the Ghost episode, like, you couldn't come up with something fun or, like, exciting to make, like, have Armand Pia do. Like, I'm not sure how. I'm not too familiar with the character. I don't know his powers, gimmicks. If he even has powers. But, like, wouldn't it be cool, like, each time he sees an Armand Pia, like, that happens. Like, he goes bang, gun. You know what I mean? Bang something from a gun, or like, pow! You know, punch. Like, that would be cool, that would be fun. But have fun with it. Like, it just feels like a fog. Like, he's no different from, like, stand-in fog number 62. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's no purpose of Armor Pia being in this episode, just for the sake of we got a supervillain, Armor Pia. He adds absolutely nothing. His presence doesn't. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's a very disappointing episode. Episode 8. Two orphans named Dick and Jason sneak out of their orphanage to go to the carnival. And now there's one more Robin that's mentioned in this episode, hinting at. I mean, like, I get reference, but really, Dick, Jason, and then wait, Leo, Carrie. Like, I appreciate the Easter eggs and stuff like that, but, like, I think it's a bit much. Just a tiny bit, to be honest, especially with another character. I mean, it makes sense for the character to be there, but I feel like you lay on the winking a bit too hard in this episode. And I feel like getting back to Cavill right now. Like, if it was just, like, one of them, sure, whatever, we could go with it, but we have, like, I mean, that's not that much. Well, how much weapons are there, actually? I can only think of 6 off the top of my head. I'm sure there's, like, actually, no, there's 7. I can think of 7. Besides the point, we have 7. You know, that's about half, you know. Again, I feel like that's lying on a bit too thick, but again, whatever. But Dick is followed a go into the carnival where Jason stayed behind. Bruce is out of the carnival, then brought the carnival to Gotham for campaign purposes. Dr. Tompkins is someone that Bruce knows and wants for orphanage. Dr. Knight gave a girl super strength for like a carnival act. Regonalia, played by McCracken Grace, also played Kayla 14 in Captain Marvel, and was the one who, like, Dick followed her into the carnival, into the booth. Jason goes to her for Dick, and Dick looks like shit, you know, he ain't doing so well. Not a lot of sucks for energy out of people, like a Demento. I know that's subtle, but that's what it reminds me of. One of Tompkins' kids is missing another one. Phone visits Den to give him money to mix in with Carnival's owning for his fundraiser. Bruce got Bacarni's mad by saying he's looking for 2 little girls after bringing her in the House of Mirrors. One of Bacarni's is Clear Cock, and again, that's like the reference. I'm like, okay, that makes sense for him to be here. Opposed to, like, it feels, I don't want to say forced that Jason, Dick, and Carrie are here, but kind of, yeah, a tiny bit. Bruce got beat up and wakes up as the carnival closes. Nyla is taking more energy than she should. She kills her brother, Dr. Knight. Dent has to drop charges against a criminal to get phones up for the exchange about money that he got, which, you know, you should probably have him do that before you give him the money. Just saying. Batman found the kids and the body of the brother. Well, he isn't dead yet. He says if Nala sees the son, she dies, and then he dies. Nala got another kid named Carrie, but they escape. Carrie gets caught again, but Batman shows up. Batman saved Nala from the sun after have a little scuffle. Dan didn't drop for charges, and because of that, Dan get acid in his face. I like this episode. Again, I know Batman, this is like kind of one of the main issues with the earlier episodes, tying in with the later episodes. Like, they made a big deal of people being afraid of Batman, but, like, you don't feel that at all whatsoever throughout the rest of the show. I feel like I have to point that out, especially here. Like, Carrie's excited for Batman. Dr. Tompkins, you know, isn't like, oh, you shouldn't talk about Batman that way or anything like that. Which, I mean, I know Dr. Tompkins usually knows that Batman is Batman in some continuities, but still, it doesn't actually feel like people are actually afraid of a Batman. But, like, all of them, like, the first 4 episodes of orphans. That sounds weird. But, you know, Batman likes his orphans. This is a fun episode, not only as a villain, tragic because she has a disease that she can't control. Actually, how does that work? A disease that you require to suck the energy out of people. I know they don't explain it, they say doctors are kerfluffled by the disease. But, like, how does that work? Like, truly. Like, I don't know. But I like the Dan, like, more high ground is kind of raising up. And he's like, no, I'm not gonna do what Phone said. this guy deserves to be in prison, okay? I'm gonna press forward with my charges. But due to your backstabbing, you don't stab back up a mobster, you know. You got a face full of acid, well, at least half a face full of acid. That's all. I mean, I'm having trouble saying specific positives of this episode, but I didn't dislike this episode. This episode was fine, it ain't like it's a terrible episode or a bad episode. It's nothing like, oh my god, I can't believe it did that. Or oh my god, this episode is so good because of blah 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 blah. It's just an enjoyable episode, if that makes sense. Again, this is also another episode where I feel like 5 minutes, just 5 extra minutes in one time will help it greatly, like the Harley Quinn episode. Explain more Nyla and her relationship with her brother, I feel like will help film a bit because I still feel like a little more attention to that would be nice. But again, then I do enjoy this more than the Harley Quinn episode. Moving on to episode 9. Den has a dream that he won the medal list, but in reality he resigned as DA and with a half-scarred face. There's no leads on who attacked Den. Bruce goes to Den, okay, let's go out, let's have fun, let's, get out of the house. You've been in here for a bit. The split personality of Den is showing up. Den goes a little bit off the rails, and we see the other side of his face. Now, I actually kind of like this Two-Face design. It's not too in your face about it, but it gets definitely the job done of this Two-Face. Actually, to be fair, Clayface I thought could be Jonah Hex though for a second. Obviously it's Clayface due to Battlestar Carlos being of the episode, but he kind of looked like Jonah Hex to me a bit. But this is honest. I know I didn't mention that before, but this is undeniably Harvey Dent and Two-Face. Alfred points out that Batman pushed Dent when he was in a weaker mental state for info, which he did. Dent saves the man from being robbed. He charges for Robber in the leg. He starts a conflict to let the robber's fate be picked by chance. Dent assaults someone to get info on his attacker Tony, and then the police hears about what Dent did. Well, we gotta check on Dent. Alfred tries to pull him out, but Dent got mad. Might have got mad because Bruce was trying to push him for info when he wasn't mentally prepared for it. Dent got to Tony's safe house, got Tony's safe house location from his girlfriend. Dent lit Tony on fire for fun. Batman shows up and he doesn't even try to save Tony. He goes straight for Dent because it's personal, which I do like that because most Batmans would go for people on fire, but this is an inexperienced Batman. And this is something personal he feels he's possibly responsible for, so he goes after Dent. But Dent gets away. Bullock tells Phone about Dent, Dent is on the way. And then Dent starts his attack on Phone. Dent almost killed Phone's kid, but Batman shows up. Phone got away, and for good side of Dent demands to be locked up. And then Barbara is nice enough to be Dent's slow. I like this episode. I like that it shows hey, maybe Batman does go too far sometimes with his tactics and stuff like that. I know Batman Arkham Origins, the Forgotten Arkham game, really does do a good job of showing what Batman in his younger years, but also maybe his tactics from for Gray is. And that kind of reminds me of that a bit, which I do appreciate. Great game, by the way. Everyone should play it. I know it's all on one generation of consoles, but people should play it. It's good. And, you do feel the tragedy of Dent. You really do, especially in the next episode, but here you really do see that Dent was trying to do the right thing, and then he feels self-conscious with his split personality, but that person talks bad about me behind my back, or all the people are talking bad behind my back, and stuff like that. So, he also shows how far his split personality can go, almost shooting a Kent's face to kill his dad. So yeah, lovely. Okay, final episode 10. Dent doesn't think he deserves help, so Barbara did a conflict to get Dent to agree to her being alone. Barbara gave Dent his cone back, which is a double-sided head cone shield, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Vaughn wants to kill Dent because he knows too much throughout his legal DA career, like things slide. Barbara thinks she can get Dent off if he talks about some of the criminals in Gotham and, the secret stuff that Thorne doesn't want him to talk about. Dent doesn't think he deserves the help. Batman gave Barbara his back number to call him if she needs help. Bruce sees Dent and tries to get him to cut that deal. Bruce definitely slipped into Batman there for a second, and then it's like, what? And then Bruce is like, oh, back up? Which I do appreciate that scene, but that was a good scene. Flash and Bullock kidnapped Dent. Barbara gave chase. Dent crashed for Cone. Barbara saved Dent and handcuffed herself to him so he doesn't run away. Barbara calls her dad and Batman for help. Phone's man all catching up to Dent and Barbara. Batman meets up with Gordon Motor. Dent and Barbara and the fights happen. They're all split up basically. Dent is trying to get Barbara to uncuff him because he's like, yeah, you're gonna get killed with me, better uncuff me. And she's like, no, I'm gonna help you. Dent gets shot. Dent saves Barbara from being killed by Flash. Batman doesn't kill and hates guns because he has the gun pointed at Flash, and Flash is like, I'm a goddamn cop, you can't kill me. And then Batman shoots all around Flash, punches him, and then tosses the gun into the ocean, which just shows how much of a power trip Flash is on. Dent dies, which he dies the hero, in his own work saving Barbara. So I think that's a nice kind of reverse of The Dark Knight, almost. Maybe I'm wrong when it draws that parallel, but I thought about that when I was watching it. Alfred says Bruce still has his humanity, unlike Dent.
You're still inside there, Master Bruce.
But I would argue that Dent still had his humanity. It's just that he was struggling with it. And Bruce is also struggling with it a bit, and feels like, hey, maybe I have gone too far in some places. And it's looking in the mirror and trying to figure out how to deal with it. And Alfred says, hey man, you made your friends in your own special way, which I feel like a scene is missing almost. Because Gordon and Batman have children out of a building, but I feel like this needs to be a scene. And then, Batman being able to, help out Gordon and Barbara during the RMIP shootout. You know what I'm saying? Just, something. Because, he was Public Enemy #1 in the place. But they didn't take the opportunity to expand upon that really. Again, that is a hit against this show. Batman sends a warning Batwing to Phone, and then we get a Joker hit. I don't know who voices Joker. I tried looking it up, couldn't find it. The voice caught me off guard, not because it was bad, not because it's good. It's because I wasn't expecting that voice to come out of Joker, and I cannot wait to season 2, which again is already confirmed. Just hear it more and see it more and just feel it more. I can't wait. With that being said, I think I got my main thoughts of the show across, but really, the Cape Crusader could have easily been a great show, fantastic show, but I feel like it was missing that spark in a few places to make it over the edge great. As this is still a enjoyable show, and there's still some fun episodes, some great episodes, there's some not great episodes. I mean, for 10 episodes, you definitely have a lot worse shows you can watch. I would probably give Cape Crusader a 7 out of 10. So, I'd like to thank you all for coming out. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you dislike the video, give it a thumbs down. And if you want to see more for us reviews, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all next time. Bye!